All right, everyone, welcome. Let's talk about a big upgrade. So you've got a SINUMERIK 8040 SL project running on an S7-300, and you're ready to make the jump to the super powerful SINUMERIK One platform with an S7-1500. Well, you are definitely in the right place. We are going to walk through this whole process step by step. So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the big picture, our migration roadmap. Then we'll dive into the nitty-gritty, prepping your project, tackling the hardware, then the software, and finally, the exciting part, compiling and going live. Let's get into it. All right, first things first, the migration roadmap. Let's get a bird's eye view of the journey so you know exactly where we're headed. We're going to break this down into 5 really clear steps. First up, our prep and pre-flight checks. Super important. Then we let the awesome automated wizard do a lot of the heavy lifting on the software side. After that, it's our turn to jump in and reconfigure the hardware connections. Step 4 is all about adapting the software code. And finally, we compile, download, and test it all out. See, when you break it down like this, it's totally manageable. Okay, on to section 2, getting your project ready. And honestly, this part is absolutely key. If you nail the prep work now, the rest of this journey is going to be so much smoother. Think of this as getting all your tools ready before you start a big project. You'll need the latest TIA portal STEP7, no surprise there. But you also need both the toolbox for the old 840 SL and the new one for SINUMERIK One. Make sure they're installed and licensed. And, if you want to test things in a safe virtual space, which, trust me, is a great idea, you're going to want to have Create My Virtual Machine on hand. All right, let's get our hands dirty. The very first practical step is to open up your existing 840D Slim project right inside TIA Portal. Now, quick heads up, if it's an older project, TIA Portal will probably ask you to upgrade it first. Just go ahead and let it do its thing. Now, here's where things get really cool. Siemens has built this incredibly powerful wizard right into TIA Portal. This thing is a real game changer, seriously. It automates all the really tedious parts of converting your PLC program from that old S7-300 structure over to the modern S7-1500 format. And kicking this whole thing off could not be simpler. You just go into your project tree, find your existing NCU, right-click on it, and you'll see the option right there, Migrate to S7-1500. You click that, and the wizard takes over. So after the wizard works its magic, you're going to look at your project and see 2 stations. Now, don't worry. Your original project, let's call it CNC_1, is still there, completely untouched. But right next to it, you'll have a new station, CNC_2. That's your new migrated project based on the S7-1500, with all your user blocks copied over, just waiting for us to continue. Okay, so the wizard did a fantastic job with the software blocks, but it can't read your mind or your electrical drawings. So now it's our turn to jump in and manually handle the hardware configuration. Basically, we need to tell our new controller what it's actually connected to in the real world. The goal here is really simple, at least in concept. All those hardware components, the drives, the I/O modules, all that good stuff that used to talk to the old CNC1 station, well, now we just need to rewire them virtually so they're all talking to our new CNC2 station instead. So here's our hardware plan of attack. First, we'll reassign the I/O controller. Then, we'll use the topology view to visually connect all the devices. After that, we need to insert our new drive unit, say an NX10.3. And before we go any further, we'll activate simulations so we can test all of this safely. Finally, a good hardware compile to check our work. And you know what? For a lot of your network devices, this is almost ridiculously easy. Take an ET200SP module, for example. You can literally just go into the topology view, click on the port of the new PLC, and just drag a connection line over to the device. Boom, that's it. TIA Portal is smart enough to figure out the rest. All right, our hardware is all mapped out. Now it's time to put our software hots back on and circle back to the PLC code. The wizard got us like 90% of the way there, which is amazing, but now it's up to us to do that last 10% of fine-tuning to make it run perfectly on the S7-1500 platform. And just like before, we've got a methodical checklist to follow. We need to bring in the new SINUMERIK One data types, rename some old data blocks, just a little housekeeping. Then we'll copy in the new basic program blocks, adjust the system and clock memory bits, and then, this is a big one, update our function calls to their modern equivalents. And to finish it all off, a little spring cleaning to get rid of any old libraries we don't need anymore. Okay, here's a classic example of the kind of change you'll need to make. Back on the S7-300, a lot of us would create our own always true or always false memory bits, right? Well, the S7-1500 is way smarter. It has dedicated built-in system memory bits for this. So part of the job is to hunt down your old logic and replace it with these new, much more efficient system bits.
This next part is really important. You've got to pay close attention to your organization blocks, your OBs. So in OB100, the restart block, that's where you'll delete the old logic for those system bits we just talked about. In OB1, your main program loop, you'll swap out the old base program calls with the new SINUMERIK ONE functions. And here's a great time saver. OBs 82 and 86, the old diagnostic blocks, you can just delete them. The S7-1500 handles all that internally now. How great is that? We are in the home stretch. All that hard work of rewiring the hardware and adapting the software is done. We are at the finish line. The final step is to compile everything and get it downloaded to your controller. The final process is simple, but you gotta do it right. First, you're not just doing a normal compile. You want to do a full software rebuild. That's key because it checks everything for consistency. Then, of course, save your project, and finally, you can initiate the download to your device, whether that's real hardware or your virtual controller. Now, when that load preview window pops up, pay close attention. It is vital that you select Consistent Download. This makes sure all the blocks are loaded together as a single complete package. Go ahead and confirm that, and yes, it's going to restart the PLC, but that's exactly what needs to happen to apply all our changes.
And after that final compile, this is what you want to see. This is the moment you've been working for. 0 errors. This is your green light. It confirms that all the syntax, all the references, all the connections in your project are valid. Your migration within TIA Portal has been a success.
And there you have it. By following this structured process, you've successfully navigated the migration from the dependable 840D SLEL all the way to the powerful and future-ready SINUMERIK ONE platform. Remember, this upgrade is so much more than just a hardware change. It opens up entirely new levels of performance, diagnostics, and functionality for your machine. So the only question left is, what incredible new things will you build with it?